we have so much fun together. I mean, we dined last night. We're not sick of each other, otherwise we wouldn't hang out when we don't have to. But no, we keep each other honest, and you know, in sort of the history of Hollywood, there's been a lot of actors that get paired together through the breadth of their career and do so for decades. So I love the idea of doing that with Chris and getting to, you know, stretch ourselves and play different dynamics. And he's such a kind actor, and so yeah, has such dexterity as an actor. He really can do anything. So I'd love to see us do some. We talked about yesterday. I pitched to him because obviously we've been working in the franchise space a lot. We should do a drama, but I think maybe we should take one of our pre-existing characters and do a very sensitive indie drama with them. I love the idea of Valkyrie and Thor in a film together where, you know, it's just very...
Just living in New York and renting an apartment.
Or a rom-com.
Rom-com, there you go. Documentary, mockumentary style. It's about Thor and Valkyrie just trying to embed themselves into normal life.
Sensitive drama.
Спасибо большое. Да, пожалуйста. Вот, да. We have only two microphones, a lot of people. Yeah.
Hey, welcome to Moscow. Really glad to have you here. It used to be Men in Black, but now it's Men and Women in Black. Does the movie tackle the issue of women empowerment in any way, in a serious manner, in a more joking manner? Thank you.
You know, I think the film is as were the original films, up to date with the way the world's moving and the current climate of things, and this just felt right. You know, it felt like a perfect opportunity to have a woman at the forefront of the MIB cast and organisation. There always has been women within MIB. Emma Thompson is the head of MIB, funny enough, and there's a couple of jokes in the film about it, but I don't think it's sort of beating anyone over the head with the idea. It's just a sort of perfect sort of commentary and awareness of the larger, broader conversation which is occurring, which I think is a hugely positive thing.
Agree. No, I really like Chris answering these questions, because of course I always get questions about being a woman. So it's really nice to have a male counterpart answer those questions. I think the hope is that one day we get to a space where it's not as noteworthy for a woman to top line a studio film or to be inside of these narratives, that we can sort of take it for granted. And until we get to that space, I think it is important to talk about. But my hope is that films like this help get us there, that it just becomes commonplace and not something we have to celebrate or acknowledge. That is my sincere hope.
Thank you. Пожалуйста.
Hello, welcome to Moscow. And my question is, have you ever dreamt to act in that movie? And what is this movie for you?
I would say that doing a film like this is a dream come true, but it's not something I ever thought to dream of, honestly. I think for a number of reasons. When the original film came out, Chris and I were both 14, we're the same age, and these films are so imaginative, and I think at that age are sort of the perfect age, in a way, because you're heading towards adulthood, and these films, as much as they're fun and great for the family, I think they're also rooted in a reality that feels kind of adult and truthful. But I was a huge Will Smith fan, massive, because I watched every episode of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and the first film marks his real entry into global stardom. And I think now we can take it for granted because there are a lot of people of color in Hollywood, but he was really one of the first. And I think for me, as a young person watching that, it expanded my idea of what is possible, which is my favorite thing about films in general. And just topically, these films make us curious about the world, that we don't take for granted that everything that's presented to us is exactly what it seems. And I love that about these films. I also love that they celebrate that we can coexist no matter our differences, I think that's embedded into the DNA of this franchise, and I think now is such an incredibly important time. And to your point about being a woman in this space, I think, you know, we live in a time where there's so many sort of like franchise reboots and sequels, and the truth is, I think one thing that's valuable about going back to old properties is you can make them with a modern sensibility. And 22 years ago, it didn't make sense necessarily to have a woman be at the forefront of these narratives, and in 2019 it does. So I think that's a compelling reason to revisit these franchises that we know and love.
Thank you. Пожалуйста.
Hello, здравствуйте, меня зовут Анна Муравьева, я представляю издание Ridus.ru. На днях мы с мужем пересмотрели «Охотники за привидениями 3» фильм. Вчера я с удовольствием посмотрела «Люди, в чёрном» 3. В связи с этим у меня такой вопрос. Верите ли вы во что-то сверхъестественное? Не только в инопланетян, может быть, в магию, привидений. Есть ли место магии в нашей жизни, как вы считаете, в реальной?
Yeah, absolutely. I like to believe the idea that there's something else out there beyond our current knowledge, and especially, you know, as vast as the universe is and so untouched and unseen. I think they've got to be something else. I like the fantasy to it. I think the optimistic side of me just enjoys that idea. As far as sort of ghosts and supernatural things in amongst us, I mean, who knows? I think we've all had certain experiences where we're forced to kind of question what we think we know. You know?
Have you ever seen a ghost?
No.
Has anyone in your family or like in your life seen a ghost?
I haven't seen a ghost. I've had well, I was renting a house in London probably 6-7 years ago, and it was this 14th century horse stables that they'd modernised and turned into a house. And it's like one night my daughter was, I think, 2 or 3, actually no, yeah, 5 years ago. She was about 2 years old, and she was standing in the window pointing outside at something. I'm like, what's she doing? And it's dark. And I'm, what are you doing? She's like, caballo, caballo, which is Spanish for horse. And there wasn't a horse outside. And at that moment I thought, oh, that's interesting. Potentially it could be something else. But I've had no situations where I've had any great proof.
My mom saw a ghost once when we were kids. Yeah. I think I believe in magic.
Talking about magic may be closer than you think. So, you know, like as a major work in a movie, for example, we talk about that. It's definitely major for actors, right? So, have you encountered anything during the movie process or before, maybe, as a side of a universe or something you can recall? You know, there's something you know, like something that this is coming. This is I knew. You know what I mean? About
Like fate or kind of.
Yeah, but like, you know, sometimes you're waiting for something, you're thinking about something, you contemplate if you should take this role or not, you should do that or not, this is good, and there is something clicks, and then you recall, oh, that was that actually that I need to do that, or I knew it was coming, or I felt it was coming, you know, and so like something behind it.
I mean, I look at a lot of the things that I, and I'm sure you can speak to this as well, the things we didn't get in our careers that at the time we thought were,
Oh my gosh, yeah.
you know, devastating. And you know, I auditioned for the X-Men movies, G.I. Joe, a few different things I got very close to. And if I hadn't got those films, I never would have got Thor, which ultimately has been the greatest thing. You know,
Yeah, that's the magic. That's
yeah. And so I do think there's. I'm not entirely fatalistic and believe in the idea that everything is preordained and you know set. But I do think there's little things put in front of you, and you know, we ultimately have to choose what to do with them. But occasionally things are removed out of our way, maybe for some preferable path or what have you. Yeah, I mean, it's such a combination of, especially this, well, you know, we're personally a part of, and for everyone probably in their own world. But the idea that you know that it's hard work, it's dedication, it's commitment, it's passion, it's got to be obsession, but then a healthy dose of right place, right time, luck.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you have something else.
I agree. I couldn't have said it better. No, I can't think of something. I can't think of something specific. I will say that before I got the phone call to ask if I would meet Taika, our director on Thor, I'd been sort of right prior to that thinking I'd really like to do a movie where there's green screen and CG work and stunts. I really, really wanted that. So it came at a time when I was really asking for that.
So the universe heard you.
Yeah, I wanted to see if I would be up for those challenges.
That's it. Thank you so much.
Yeah.